There's a lot of talk about the 9th and 10th Amendment, rights retained by the people. We have to understand that governments have no inherent rights. The Constitution did not grant any rights to the people. The Constitution granted rights to the federal government. And those rights were really not rights, but they were privileges granted to the federal government by the states. Now, we don't live in 1798 anymore. We live in another time, and we've done a lot of things in between the original Constitution and what we have today, and we have to take that into account in order to understand it. But in order to understand where we're at, it's a good idea to understand how we got on this path to begin with. And the Constitution was part of that path. The Constitution was not a popular document amongst the people. Had it been put to a popular vote, it would have been voted down. Historians agree on that. It was an agreement between the states. They didn't even legally ratify it according to the rules that they had set down. Their rules originally were they couldn't change the Articles of Confederation without unanimous consent. And they, without unanimous consent, implemented the Constitution of the United States. But the other states eventually acquiesced, and it became a real viable document that created a real viable body politic called the United States. It didn't have a lot to do with the individual rights of individual citizens. It was not the secret of our success. The secret of our success is people that got up every day and went to work, came home every night and took care of their families, plowed the fields, built the buildings, took care of their neighbor, and were a truly great nation. A nation is a people. The United States federal government was a bureaucracy. It was a very small one at first. It's gotten to be very big. It's gotten big because we've applied to it for more and more benefits. We've looked to it more and more for answers. And the more you look to government, the more you will suffer tyranny. That's a common idea amongst early Americans who were not looking to government to solve their problems. They were solving them themselves. We could do that again. We will have to do that again if governments around the world begin to fail. We're already seeing that, and we will see a lot more before things are done. It isn't the leaders that are going to save us. It's our own ingenuity, our initiative, our personal sacrifice. And before people step out of their existing comfort zone or reality, they need to take a good look at where they're going. There's a lot of tax protesters talking about 861 arguments, where's the law? Well, the law is the contracts that you make. Contract makes the law, and one thing the Constitution does guarantee is your right to contract and your right to assent, your right to not retain those rights, invest more of your individual rights into government. The more benefits you are entitled to, the less rights you probably have. And that's one thing that we all need to take a good look at. Is there a better way to provide those same social benefits? A more honest way? A more conducive way to liberty and building the character of individuals? Well, yes, there is. And that's what the Bible is really talking about. And that's what they talked about, all the prophets, from Cain and his first city-state to Nimrod to Pharaoh to Caesar to the kingdom of God, is how to live as free souls under God.